Hello and welcome back to the course. Today will be a relatively short video because I am slowly losing my voice. In an effort to make sure I don't, I came up with some relatively simple yet very powerful changes that we can make to our game that will get us lined up for some more kind of complex and useful systems. Now, what am I talking about? Currently, we actually have a few bugs that actually need to be fixed, but fixing one of them will open us up to laying out the foundations for a global storage and then in the future a safe load system. So let's just kind of dive in and squish some bugs. As I said, I'm losing my voice. I will try to speak as clearly as I can. But to get this started, we are first going to go down into our auto loads here. And we are going to create a new script. And this will be called the Global Stat Manager. This will actually, we'll just call it the Global Stat Container. That'll be a little bit better of a name. Now we're going to go to project settings, auto load, click the file, go into auto loads again, and we'll add that as an auto load. Now it's a good idea to pull this one to the very top of the list. I'll just make sure that it loads in at the correct time when we need it to. So let's open up that script. Let's remove the ready function because we don't need it, and we do not need to give it a class name either. Now, the first bug that I want to squish is, and well, this is kind of, will fix a lot of bugs. First one will be this, where our coin counter increases. The second one will be when we actually reset the game screen, it will reload the scene. It'll flick back to 3 coins. We don't want that to happen. We want to kind of use that as a pseudo kind of level change, and we want to keep the amount of coins that we currently have on us, right? Otherwise, you'll just be kind of repeating and getting 3 coins and that'd be it. You don't really want that to happen. So if I hit skip and save, you'll see that it's currently at 6 coins. And that is because we're not reloading the scene at all. If we actually go and reload the scene, of course it's going to flick back to 3 coins because it's starting from quote unquote scratch. We don't actually want that, right? So the first thing we want to do here is create a variable for currently underscore currently. Am I spelling currently correctly? I don't think so. Underscore held underscore coins of type int, and we'll set it equal to 0. Now we're going to get a getter function, an add function, and a remove function. So we'll set up the getter first. We'll go func get underscore current underscore coins. This will return the type of int, because this needs to return how many coins that we currently have, right? So we'll do that. So return currently held coins. Now we'll do a func for add underscore coins, which will be a void return type. It's going to need to take in a property of a value of type int. And all we have to do here is use currently held coins equals value. Now, the reason why we're not doing plus equals value is because we actually want to pass in the exact amount of coins we have and not just keep adding to this. If we just keep adding to this, it could cause problems in the future. Now, for removing coins, we'll create one for remove coins. Do the same thing, value type int. Now, remove coins isn't entirely necessary, but we can use this to kind of make sure things keep in track. And this one will be very simple, currently held coins minus equals value. Now that's our getter, our technical setter, and then our removal function. Now as I said, for the adding, we just want to set the actual value to the current amount of coins we currently have. Whereas removing, this is just kind of another way of doing it. We can pretty much remove this function and just kind of use the add coins, but this kind of makes it a little bit more clear. And eventually we may end up changing this to just be minus equals value, although it's the same function. It's a different function name, which kind of allows us to use it just a little bit differently and gives us a lot more controllability of what we want to do. So we'll just leave it as this for now. That's the global stat manager, or the global stat container kind of sorted. The next thing we actually want to go and change is our collectible manager. Now to get to our collectible manager, we're in our main scene here, go managers, collectible manager, and open the script. Now, the first thing we want to do here is under the ready function, let's go to the global stat container, make sure we save. Now, for the collectible manager, under the ready function, we just want to check if the global stat container dot currently held coins does not equal 0. Now, we can use our getter function here, so we can go dot get underscore current coins, and then use not equal to or exclamation mark equals 0, which will basically say, okay, if the currently held coins in the stat container does not equal 0, then that means we actually want to use that as our currently, like set that to our current coins collected. So we'll set the current coins collected equal to the global stat container dot get underscore current coins. Add a new line there just to make sure it's readable. And now we're going to need to come down and change the on collectibles collected here, because we're going to want to add to this, right? We want to make sure that every time the collectibles get updated, the global stat container also gets updated. Now, to do that, we can do the new function that we just created for dot add coins, and then we can just pass through the currently collected or current coins collected. So this will set the amount of coins we have to current coins collected. I might want to change add coin to set coins. That might make a bit more sense. For now, this will kind of just be fine. The final change we want to make in the collectible manager for now will be going down to the player hit. So on player hit, we want to, of course, remove a coin, right? So we can just do global stat container dot remove coins, and then we want to just pass in value, because that's going to pass in how much damage we have currently lost. And that's kind of why we use minus equals for the remove and not just equals current coins. That way we can kind of keep it in track with what it needs to be. So that is the collectible manager changes sorted. The next one is a kind of big one, because this is a little bit annoying and I've been running into this little problem a lot and I've been meaning to change it. If we go down to the player, then we double click on the player entity. Now we go down to the health handlers script for the player entity. We need to go and change the setMax health function here. Now, this is a bit of a problem. With how this is currently working, it is emitting that collectible collected signal, which is great because that links into the UI and it links into the collectible manager. That is fine until it's not, and now it's getting to that point where it's not, because we want to expand upon it. So what we want to do here is just set the max health, so max underscore health for the player, equal to the global stat container dot get underscore current coins. And then we want to set the current health equal to the max health. Yeah. Now with the health sorted, we need to go down to the next thing, which is the game state manager. So if we go back to main, we open up this script for the game state manager here. We need to scroll down to the on upgrade state change. So here. Now, there are two issues with this. The first one, of course, is, some of you probably picked this up, we are never toggling the upgrade menu exists to false, which means after we've clicked it once, this will always be true and it will never restart that cycle of spawning in the upgrade menu again. So on active state end, no, on upgrade state end, sorry, we want to go and toggle the upgrade menu exists to equal false, preferably not in all caps. There we go. And we want to do one more thing. We want to go and use get underscore tree dot reload current scene. Now that's going to act as our pseudo level change. That's just going to reset everything back to 0, other than the things that we have currently set up to be global, like the amount of coins we have. That way we could get this sense of progression when we actually build our upgrade menu without having to create an entire new level to go onto. So next thing to change is, some of you have probably noticed that, let's go and actually kind of pop this open and make sure I haven't made this change in the past and forgotten about it. on the enemy, not the enemy, the handlers, the collectible handler, which I think is under enemy as well. That's the enemy collection handler. I'm thinking of the drop handler. There we go. That's what it's called. Drop handler. Yes, this. Where it says parent_pos equals parent.position. So this is where we want to drop our coin, right? This is the location that we want to drop the coin at when we actually want to drop the coin. Now the issue with this is the dot position won't always match correctly. So we actually want to use dot global position here. So global_position. That way we actually drop the coin directly at the player's feet, or specifically where the monster cube freed itself. So that's going to sort out that little bug that was happening. Next one is the death handler. So if we come over to our file system here, go to the death handler script. Anytime the player currently explodes or dies or Q-freeze, we are running into a crash, and that is because the player is currently going, okay, drop handler, do the drop handler things. That is an issue. We don't want that, and that is because I forgot to kind of indent these. So what we're going to do is highlight the whole thing, and we're going to indent it twice, and then delete this line right here to pull all of this into the enemy type match specifically. And the final change we need to make is going into the coin counters UI. So let's go to our UI here, close some of these. There we go. Coin counter UI script. And on the ready function here, we want to keep this signal because that's what keeps it actually updating for us. But we also want to call set coin counter label, and we want to set that to the global stack container dot get underscore current coins. Now, if I hit Control S and save, if we hit play, what's going to happen? Well, our coins will be immediately set to 0, and the player's health is actually set to 0 as well, because now everything is pulling from this one container, which is perfect. We kind of want it that way. Which, yes, that does mean that the starting health value in the health handler doesn't actually mean anything for the player specifically, and that's fine. What we can do here is go to the global stack container, and we can set this to what we want our starting health coins to be. So in this case, 3. Now we hit play, and now our coins are set to 3. If I fall off of a ledge, you'll see that we're not gaining many more coins. If I go and get hit by an enemy, we don't immediately die, which is great. I can pick coins up still. If I bop an enemy on the head twice and then get hit and then bop it on again, that minion just stole the other coin. So that's all of the coin stealing sorted. Now if we let the timer count down and hit 0 seconds and go into the next phase. Now, 2 things should happen. You'll see the camera jolt and the coin counter should stay the same. There we go. Now what that's done is completely reset this scene from scratch. There were no coins, no enemies, no nothing. And now it's just going to start that replaying, which means we can collect now more coins, we can bop many enemies, and we can just kind of do what we want, which means after we have kind of decided on the upgrades and things that we actually want to do, we can implement the upgrade menu properly and have an actual sustainable economy and a kind of repeating level that we can test it with as much as we want to. Now, that is going to be all I can actually do today. As I said, my voice is slowly going and I really don't want to lose it. Thank you all for watching. I apologise if this has been either too short or just a little quiet or chaotic, I suppose. Yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.